This video was sponsored by One Nest Studios. Elevate your sound. If you're looking for a studio that is reasonably priced to record your music, podcasts, etc., then you cannot go wrong with One Nest Studios. Contact the number down below or the email address or visit their website for more details. Thank you. Hi, this is my video and also a comparison video with another item which is very similar to this item here, and this is the video on the Polarpro Trippler. Now this is an old product. It's very hard to get this in England still, especially on Amazon, and if you do find it on Amazon, when they do have it in, you pay $49.99 for it. Now, as I stated, it's going to be a comparison video between the Polarpro Trippler and the Joby Grip Tight Pro, because they're very similar products. In the box, when you get the Trippler, it comes in this kind of half see-through box, which has the Trippler there, and it shows you here that it's suitable for mobile phones, GoPro stroke action cameras, and main cameras. I would say it'll take the weight of a mirrorless up to a mirrorless camera, from your point and shoot to a mirrorless camera. The words Trippler here, compact tripod grip pole, shows it on the side here basically, and on the back, and back to that side. This is what you get. We get a simple little user guide from Polarpro. We get a tripod to 1/4" thread mount here, which is made out of plastic. We have a thumb screw. Now I like this type of thumb screw because it's be easy to turn with gloves on. It's not like your traditional GoPro thumb screw, but we have the Polarpro branding across there, on the one side of it, and that's made out of plastic. And we have a phone holder here which has a 1/4" female thread at the bottom and a 1/4" female thread at the top and one at the side. And this doesn't use the traditional type of spring load. It uses a lever which you flip up, place your phone in, slide down and close down the lever. So that's what you get. And it has a rubber here and at the top and at the back with the Polarpro branding there. And now we come to the actual Trippler, and we start from the bottom and work to the top. We have 3 big legs of the Trippler which have magnets on either side of the leg, so when it closes up it locks into place. The Polarpro branding along the side, this kind of rubber mesh type grip on the actual unit itself, on the legs. We have a release ring here, so we can release the actual stem up and down. And we have a small ball joint up here, or ball head, sorry, up here, which has this small lever to fix it into place, and that is made out of metal. So this is all made out of metal. Now as you can see, I have a different look today. I have got these tinted glasses on because I've got an eye infection and my eye on my right hand side is very sensitive to light. So that's why I've got these glasses. They are prescription glasses, but they got a tint on them, mainly because of that infection that I do get from time to time in my eye. But anyway, carrying on with the Trippler. The Trippler from the bottom to the very top of the mount is 30 inches long. That's what they state. I normally go by my measurements. I normally go by the top of the handle, because you lose inches off the handle and you lose a couple of inches off the mount. So between these 2 points here, it is 20 inches long that it actually extends out to. As I stated before, it has a metal mini ball head at the top with a simple little lever here to adjust the ball head. And we have a nice black aluminium stem with double seam, with a seam at the front and a seam at the back. The only thing I don't like what Polarpro has done with this particular selfie stick tripod is that they have made the collars here, which are plastic collars, because it uses a twist lock motion to lock it, so it's clockwise, anti-clockwise to lock and clockwise to unlock it. And they have these white collars, which to me lessens the look of it. It'd be better off if it was all stealth, all black collars, makes it look more stealth and premium looking. But I have to say, in your hand holding this, it does feel premium. It does not feel cheap. For saying that it costs up to £50 is probably a little bit too much for something like this for the price, but it does still feel premium. In my right hand here, this is the Joby Grip Tight Pro. I'm going to call it the Joby from now on. So this is the Joby version. And with the GoPro 8s, here are 8s, as I showed you before, this is the Polarpro. Now, they are very similar. I'm trying to get them both into camera shot. They are very similar. Now, when it came for who built what first, I personally think it was the Trippler. The Polarpro Trippler came out first with this unique design. If I am wrong, please put that in the comment section. But I think the Polarpro here came out first with this design. Then we had the Joby Grip Tight Pro was next. And then after that, if I am not mistaken, I think it was then the Fusion Grip. And then we had the GoPro Max Grip. And then after that, we had other little companies making the same kind of thing based off the Max and Fusion Grip. So these, I'd say, are the originators. That's probably the originator. That was the second. Now, just by looking, you can see that the Joby, and I have done shots outside of these two standing side by side, fully extended. The Polarpro is the longest, while the Joby is one of the shortest. Now, but if you look, as I was saying before with the collars, and I'm trying to get my hand into the center there, as you can see the Joby with the Max on the top here, as you can see with the collars on the Joby, they colored them the same color as the selfie stick itself, so it makes it look more premium. And with the Polarpro, you can see the difference, that it doesn't look that premium. It's still good in the hands, but it doesn't look that premium. When it comes to the footprint of both of these units, the Polarpro, and I'll hold them up here because I have left a short video showing you how they look when they're fully splayed out. The Polarpro here has a smaller footprint than the Joby. The Joby has a much wider footprint. So, and sits lower to the ground. So the Joby sits lower to the ground than the Polarpro. When it comes to spreading out the legs. But when you spread out the legs of the Joby, there's only two positions. So it's this far out position. And then when you click them in, it comes to this narrow position. So it's only two positions with the Joby. And with the Polarpro, let me just bring this down. Now with the Polarpro here, it has three positions. So we have, that is just a bit, that's it. Now we have that position there, and it has another position to make it more narrower. And then even slightly more narrow position again, and then close. So it has three positions of the legs, but it doesn't sit as low to the ground as the Joby does. So be aware of that. As for using these as vlogging grips, to me, they're both ideal for vlogging grips. There's not much of a difference in between the two of them. while this has as for holding the both circumferences of the ends, even though the Joby may look a bit bigger than the Polarpro may look bigger than the Joby, the actual circumference of both of these handles are about the same. The the grip factor in them are both the same. With the Joby, it's the same as with the Polarpro. There's not much difference in there really to warrant to say that this is better than that one. The only slight difference is build is that the Joby up here is made of metal, while with the Polarpro here, the Trippler, it's made of plastic. But everything else is just the same. With the Polarpro, at least you get a ball head which is non-removable. I could not remove it, and I didn't want to try and remove it in case I broke it. So to me, this is non-removable ball head at the top. While with the Polarpro, you get a 1/4 inch thread, and then you get the actual additions to go on top. That's the difference between the two of them. You don't get a ball head with the with the Joby. I'm getting confused again. With the Joby. Now, I'm recapping over what I showed you at the beginning of the video when it came to the Polarpro Trippler. This is what you get in the box. As I stated before, you get the Trippler here, a thumb screw, a mobile phone mount, and a GoPro tripod mount here. Now, with the Joby Grip Tight Pro, now you have to be aware that Joby sells two versions of this. One is the Grip Tight Pro and one is the Grip Tight. If you buy the Grip Tight, you do not get, I think you don't get the phone mount, or I think you don't get the phone mount with it. All you get is the GoPro and the GoPro mount, their GoPro mount, to tripod mount, and also a thumb screw. I could be wrong. If I am wrong about that, please leave a note down in the comment section. But with this particular Joby Grip Tight Pro, you get obviously the Grip Tight Pro itself, the GoPro mount to tripod mount here. You get their unique thumb screw. You also get a shutter button to operate with your phone. Only your phone. It does not operate with a GoPro camera or any action camera at all. So it's a Bluetooth shutter button. With also, and I wish I put it on here and I cannot find it, but you get a holder which clips into there. So this stays in there like that. And you can clip it on any leg. And also you get a lanyard with it, that lanyard with it as well. So you can attach there. And also you get the phone mount, which is a unique phone mount, 2 pence worth on the Polarpro Trippler. I think this is a very unique product, and as I said before, I think it's one of the first products to come out with an integrated pole and tripod legs at such a compact design as this. So I think this was one of the first. As I said, if I'm wrong, please leave a comment down in the comment section. I'll start off with the negatives with this first. Couple of negatives is when you have the Trippler down in this format here, you cannot open out. You can open out the legs, but you cannot. You can only put it on its narrowest stand to hold it. So if you're shooting shots indoors, mainly indoors, or even outside, but you're going to put it on top of a table or on top of a rock or something like that, keep it at this length if you only want it short. I don't think the wind will blow this over. I tried it outside and it was a windy day and it didn't really blow it over. So that is a negative. You can't have it more splayed out than this if you want a wider base because of the middle part here. You do have a 1/4 inch thread at the bottom, which I've missed, and that is, I'd put that as a positive. So you can attach a lanyard as long as you get a 1/4 inch lanyard with a 1/4 inch screw thread, and you can put it there on the bottom, so you can attach a lanyard. The legs, to me, even though they are thick, they could have been a bit thicker. That's a kind of negative or positive to some people, but it could have been a bit thicker. But so that goes towards to me, I'd put that towards a negative. They could have been a bit thicker. As for the top here, unlike the Joby where you can just simply extend it and then turn it and it locks into place the whole length, this one you have to lock this. You have to use this kind of ring here. So you can extend it out, but you have to lock it with this ring. If you don't lock it, it will fall back down. The whole stem, not the whole entire stem, will collapse into itself, but the whole stem will just drop down. So you have to lock it with this lock, which is a bit of a, I'd say it's a bit of a negative that you have to do that. And the very last negative has to do with the price. Now, being in England, this is coming up at, as I says, $49.99 for this particular thing, for the Trippler. Now, in the States or otherwhere, it could be far less than this price. I think this is a bit too much for its price, considering that the Joby grip tight is, I think, probably about £10 less in England to buy than this. And the foam mount, what you get with it, is made out of all metal with the Joby, while this one is plastic. And also with the Joby one, and I'll leave a video around here somewhere, that you can also move it from landscape to portrait, while with this you can't. You're going to have to turn the whole entire selfie stick tripod, the whole entire Trippler, to get a portrait photograph. So I think it's a bit too overpriced. The positives of this: it is waterproof, but it's not for taking out on large bodies of water. It's not like a floaty hand grip. If you drop this in water, you will lose your camera. You'll lose this and your camera because it will just sink. But if you're outside and it rains and whatever, and providing that your action camera or whatever that you put on top here is waterproof, this will be all right. So it's waterproof in that respect. Positives are the grip is really grippy, and I like the circumference of the actual handle of the three legs put together. It's a nice firm grip, and it feels just as grippy as the Joby grip tight, and also as the Max grip and Fusion grip. It just feels just as tight as them. It does have a solid build feeling to it. And one thing I should have brought up as a negative, and I completely forgot, is I wish that Joby, where the colours of the different sections, because this comes out in 4 sections, had the plastic in black instead of white, would have made this even more premium looking. I like the phone mount that you get with it. I prefer, in some ways, these types of phone mounts than the spring-loaded phone mounts, because the spring-loaded mounts, eventually the spring in there would go. At least with this, it's just a case of sliding it up, put your phone in, slide it down, clamp it down. That's it. So I like that. I like how it's got the extra female 1/4" threads, so you can attach lights or microphones using a cold shoe mount to it. So that's really, really good. That is similar to what the Joby Grip Tight Pro does as well. And last and not least, I know it's a little item, is the thumb screw. I like their unique thumb screw. I like this kind of winged thumb screw, because even with gloves on, you can turn this thumb screw tight, unlike the traditional GoPro thumb screws, where if you've got thick gloves on, you're going to have to bring a spanner or take your hand out the glove, tighten it, put your hand back in the glove. At least with these types of wing thumb screws, you can tighten with gloves, so that's a nice positive. If you've got the Polarpro Trippler, please leave a comment down in the comment section what you think about it, because your thoughts and your opinions are different to my opinion. So please leave that in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I know my videos, if you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I don't mind. I know my videos can be quite long, but I like to go through them. I know I've kind of rushed through this because of my eye here, my eye infection, but I thought I have to do this video. So I can understand about that because my videos can be long, but I like to save you the time that when you get the item, if you buy this item, you know what to expect when you get it. Oh yes, one thing I forgot, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and thanks for watching. And hopefully next time I won't have these glasses on and my eye infection would clear up. Bye.